Mexican prosecutors want the friend of a woman from North Carolina to be extradited back to Mexico to face questionings about the woman's death. They also revealed that Shanquella Robinson was killed in a, quote, direct attack, not an accidental one. I spoke with Robinson's father last night about what he wants to see, what kind of justice he expects from Mexico and from the U.S., and why he blames his daughter, Shanquella Robinson's friends, for her death.
I want the truth, man. I just want them to get back over there and tell the Mexican authorities why they did what they did. I can't even be a grandfather. I can't even walk her down the aisle, man. The only thing I can do is cherish the moments that we had, the 25 years while she was here on this earth.
I want to bring in now Deborah Blum to talk more about this case. She is a criminal defense attorney. Deborah, as I mentioned, Mexican authorities are seeking an extradition for an American woman. They haven't identified the person by name. What we know so far about this story, of course, is that Shanquella Robinson's friend said that it was alcohol poisoning. Then an autopsy revealed a different story, that she died from an injury to her neck and her back. And then we saw these videos, extremely graphic, showing this woman being attacked. What are the next steps to get somebody extradited? I know that Mexico and the U.S. have had an extradition treaty since 1862. Then it was ratified again in 1978. We know of many cases where Mexico extradites people to the U.S. to face justice here. But how consequential is this order at this point? How long may it take, and what's next?
You know, each situation is an individual process. I'm imagining here that because of the horrific nature of this murder, that the extradition will happen sooner rather than later. The American authorities will have to locate the woman who is wanted for Miss Robinson's death, and then they'll have a proceeding here where she'll be brought into court and the judge will determine whether or not she will be extradited. I don't see any reason why she wouldn't be returned to Mexico to face criminal charges.
So, I mean, one of the things that I'm curious about, too, is if for some reason the U.S. is not, successful in extraditing her to Mexico, or Mexico is not successful in the U.S. Getting her there, can the U.S. or authorities here also press charges? Could she face some kind of legal consequence here as well?
Generally, they would not be able to move forward with the prosecution here for a murder that occurred in another country, but stranger things have happened. People are prosecuted for crimes that primarily took place in other countries but impacted the United States. So I think that people do want to see justice for Miss Robinson, and people in the justice system here will go to whatever ends are necessary to make sure that that happened. I mean, this is certainly another Natalie Holloway situation, which is really terrible. This was a beautiful young woman who had her whole future ahead of her, and it seems like her friends are the perpetrator of this gruesome death.
I also wonder the alternative, which is what Mexico is seeking. If this person, or even the friends, because just from reading the police reports from Mexican authorities, it says that, they're not done. It's not necessarily just this person who could face charges, that their investigation continues, and others could be brought to justice for either being accessories or taking part in a cover-up and things like that. But what kind of rights do Americans have while facing charges in another country, in this case, of course, being Mexico?
Well, I want to touch upon the fact that here, the individuals, if they're caught not telling the truth to U.S. authorities who are assisting in this investigation, we know that the FBI is involved, then those individuals could face charges in the United States for interfering with the investigation and various other charges. In terms of the process of getting them to Mexico and what the criminal case will look like in Mexico, I can't speak to the specifics of what a proceeding is like in Mexico. I can only tell you about the process here in the United States, but I'm imagining it's going to be somewhat of a similar process. Generally, you are considered innocent until you're proven guilty, and there will be a negotiation process, and she'll have the right to a defense. But we do know that many other countries are very different, and the United States is a country where we truly have rights that others don't.
Deborah Blum, thank you for that insight.